Okay, on this video we're going to talk about multiplication and division of algebraic fraction. Okay, so that is the heading. So is multiplication and division of algebraic fractions. All right, multiplication and division of algebraic fraction. Now, this time we're gonna do this quicker. I'm gonna do easy question, and then I will increase the level of difficulty each time. And at the end, we're gonna finish with probably challenging question. Okay, but we're gonna start easy, and then we'll see what to do. Okay, so question 1: multiplying fraction will follow the same rule as you learn in year 7. Okay, when you did fractions. Okay, so you know that when you have a fraction, you have a numerator and also you have a denominator. Okay, so if you are multiplying fraction, you're going to multiply right across. So that means that you're going to multiply numerator by numerator, and then you're going to multiply denominator by denominator. Okay, so but when you have algebraic fraction, on top of that, you need to be careful, because at this time you're not going to see only numbers, but you're going to see pronumeral. Okay, that's why we call them algebraic fractions. And then you have to follow the same rule that we have been doing all the time with pronumerals. Okay, so question 1. Let's say that you have this 4a divided by 7, and then you're going to multiply that fraction by 21 divided by 5a. Okay, I said that you have that. Right, so you can do this in two different ways. So you can multiply across, right across, and write the answer, and then you put that over the multiplication of the bottom parts. So you do 7 times 5a, and then you simplify. Or what you can do, which I think is easier, is to see if you have common factors. In here, we can say that they're all factors. So get 4a and 21. So we got 1, 2, and 3 factors on top. And at the bottom, same thing. We have 7, then we have 5, and we have a. They're all factors. Okay, and because they are factors, then we can simplify them. Okay, so that means that we can say, well, take this a together with this one. Okay, and then if you look carefully, so we can also divide 21 divided by 7. Okay, so if you do that, we divide this by 7 and we divide this by 7, so this will be 1 and this will become just 3. Okay, and then we don't have any other thing to simplify. So I mean that now we're going to just do the multiplication. Okay, so we're going to do 4 multiplied by 3 is just 12. And then at the bottom, we have 1 multiplied by 5. So that means the answer is 5. All right, and we cannot simplify this fraction. You can put this as a mixed numeral, but, well, it doesn't do anything in this context. Okay, so I mean that the answer for this is just 12 divided by 5. Okay, let's see what we did. So we simplify a, and then we can see that we have a common factor between these two, which is 7. And then we divide 7 divided by 7 is equal to 1, and 21 divided by 7 is equal to 3. That's why we have this 3 in here. That's why we have that 1 in here. And then there's nothing else we can do. So then you simply do 4 times 3 and write the answer. And then 1 times 5, write the answer. We cannot do any other simplification, so we just leave it like that. Okay, that is the simplest answer for this expression. Okay, and question 2. In question 2, let's say that we have something like 3ab divided by 4a, and then multiply by 8a squared divided by 12b. All right, so let's see. We can cancel this a with that one. So I mean that the first fraction is just 3b divided by 4 now. And then what we can do is take b from here and b from there. And then we cannot simplify any other pronumeral, so I mean that we're gonna still have a square somehow. But let's see if we can simplify the numbers. So the highest common factor between 4 and 8, we cannot simplify these two because the only common factor is 1, so it's pointless. Okay, but we can see that the highest common factor between 4 and 8 is 4. So I mean that we're going to divide 4 by 4 and 8 by 4. Okay, so 4 divided by itself is equal to 1. But then 8 divided by 4 is just 2. Right. And then what we can do is to simplify this together with that. Okay, so the highest common factor between 2 and 12 is just 2. So that means that we're going to divide 2 by itself. So that will give you 1. And then we're going to divide 12 by 2, which is equal to 6. And then we're going to look around and see if we can simplify a bit more. And the answer is yes, because this is 3 and this is 6. So the highest common factor between 3 and 6 is 3. So that means that we're going to divide 3 by itself, which is 1. And then we're going to divide 6 by 3, which is 2. Okay, and then let's see what we have on top. Okay, so we have 1 times 1a squared. Okay, let's see. 1 times 1a squared, so that is simply a square. At the bottom is going to be only 1 times 2. So that is the answer. All right. Now, this gets, very, very heavy with too many, diagonal little lines. So the other way that you can do this question, so you can say, or if you don't want to see, that mess, then you rewrite the question. So we're going to say 3ab divided by 4a multiply by 8a squared over 12b. Okay, so if you don't want to see that messy, then what you can do is multiply across. So we're going to say 3 times a is 24. And then we have ab times a squared, so it's going to be a cube b. And then you're going to divide that by 4 times 12 is 48. 48, and then you're going to have a b. And then, well, we're going to simplify. So 24 and 48, we can simplify that we know that 24 goes into 48 twice, so I mean that we can get this and 2. Okay, so you're going to put the line here. So we're going to have 1 on 2, and then in here we got B, so we can take 1 from here and 1 from there, and then we can take 1A from here and 1A from here, so that means that we still got 2, and then you can see that the answer is still A square on top, and the bottom is just 2. Okay, so you can do it this way. Okay, so you can simplify at the very end, sorry, at the very beginning, or you can simplify after multiplying across. All right, or okay, so you can simplify the process a bit more, and then, well, if you can multiply across, then you do so. So it's going to be 24A cubed B, and then you're going to have 4 times 12, which is 48AB, and then rather than doing this, you just do it in your calculator. Okay, so you do 20A, so you do 20A, sorry, 24 ABC 40A, and the answer is half, so that means that you have 1 on top and 2 at the bottom. Okay, so and then you just do, well, the B cancel each other, so we don't have any B in here, and we have 3A on top and 1 at the bottom. So after elimination, how many A are left? Well, the answer is 2. Where, top or bottom? The answer is top. Okay, so I mean that you're going to have A square, and at the bottom you're going to have 2. Okay, so you can do it like this, or you can do a lot of stuff in your head and your calculator. It is entirely up to you. Okay, so this, I show you how different alternative about simplifying, you know, multiplication like this, but at the end of the day, that is something that you're gonna have to choose. All right, so we're up to question 2, now question 3. Question 3. We need to increase the level of difficulty quickly, otherwise I'm gonna stay here all day, and that is not the idea. Okay, let's say that you have 1 over x plus 1 multiplied by 3x plus 3 over 4. Okay, let's say that you have that. All right, so you're gonna write this exactly the same because we cannot simplify this fraction at all. But in here we had a common factor. So the common factor between these two is 3, and then the other factor is going to be x plus 1, and then over 4. And then you can see that we can get rid of this and we can get rid of this altogether. And that's it. There's nothing else we can do apart from writing the answer. Okay, so what is left? 1 times 3, which is 3, and then over 4. So I mean that the answer for this multiplication is just 3 over 4, and we don't have any pronumeral left. Right. Question 4. Question 4. Let's say you have this 10x minus 15 divided by 6, and then multiply by 1 over 8x minus 12. Okay, the highest common factor between 10 and 15, so is 5. And then the other factor is going to be 2x minus 3. And then you divide that by 6. And then times The highest common factor between 8 and 12 is just 4. And the other factor is going to be 2x minus 3. Okay, and the good news is that we have 2x minus 3 in here and 2x minus 3 in there. And we're done. Okay, we cannot simplify anymore, so that means that the answer is going to be 5 times 1, which is 5. And then 6 times 4, which is 24. And you can see that we cannot simplify that fraction anymore. Okay. Question 5. I said that we need to increase the level of difficulty very, very quickly if we are going to finish this. Okay, so let's say that you have now 3m minus 6 divided by 4, and then multiply by 8m divided by m squared minus 2m. Right, so the common factor for this is 3, so it's 3, and the other factor is going to be m minus 2, and then all over 4, and then we multiply that by, so in here we have am, and we're going to take the common factor between m squared and 2m, and the answer for that is m, and the other factor is going to be m minus 2. Great. Okay, so you can see that we can take this out, and then we can also take this out and that's out. Okay, and then we're going to have this divided by 4. Okay, this divided by 4 is just 2. Okay, so we can simplify this, but what I'm going to do, give me 1 second, I'm going to multiply across, so it's going to be 3 times a is 24, and then we're going to divide the answer by whatever is left at the bottom, which is 4, and 24 divided by 4 is just 6. Okay, so I mean that the answer for this expression is 6. Okay. All right, so we are up to question 6 now. Question number 6. Okay, question 6. We have m squared minus mn divided by n squared minus n multiplied by n minus 1 divided by m minus n. All right, so we have m and n. Okay, look, this expression, or for this expression, the common factor is m, and the other factor is going to be m minus n. The common factor between n squared and n is n, and the other factor is n minus 1. And then we have in here n minus 1 divided by m minus n. And then we can see that we can get rid of this with this, but also we can get rid of this with this. So at the end, the answer is just m over n. That's it. I guess sometimes it looks very, very strange, ugly, but yeah, after simplifying, you can see that this is equivalent to that. Okay, question 7. Okay, question 7. All right, let's say that we have this x minus y in bracket square over 2, and then multiply by 1 over x squared minus y squared. Right. We know that x minus y in bracket square mean x minus y multiplied by itself, and then times 1 over x squared minus y squared is the difference of 2 squared, so I mean that this is the same as x plus y, x minus y. Okay, and then we can simplify this with that, and that's all we can do. Okay, so I mean the answer is going to be x minus y, because that is what is left on top, but then at the bottom we have 2x plus y, like that. All right, so far we've done only multiplication. Let's see how we're going to do the division. Let's say that you have a question like this one. Okay, let's say that you have 4 divided by 21 minus 9x, and then divided by, now is division, divided by 8 over 14 minus 6x. Okay, let's say that you have that question. Now you need to pay attention, and if necessary you need to rewind the video and then watch it again. But what I'm gonna do at this point, I'm gonna stop the video and continue in